what are the qualities, let me say this first, that the myriad causes that prevent you from being healthy are too many for us to name here today. That almost anything can be a cause for your poor health. You have not enough of something, you have too much of something, you have bad genetic material, you have illnesses, you have environmental causes, even such as war. I mean, war is very unhealthy. True?
Yes.
That you could live in a climate which is very unhealthy with a lot of pollution and fog. That you could say that this is the reason why you're not healthy. I mean, you don't have much choice unless you had a separate room that you could hide in when it's. But in Los Angeles, they have smog, and other places have fog. They don't like fog either. And so almost anything you could have allergies which develop when you're 60 years old, limiting your capacity for being able to go out and do the things that you want to because this weird allergy. Sometimes, they talked about soy being the miracle food, soy protein powders, etc. Now they're saying soy is a killer, that only toasted soy is okay. Really, that soy can leach calcium from your bones. I mean, even the things that people will use because they want to be healthy, it turns out that those very same things might be the cause of their being unhealthy. So even good motivation isn't enough. Even having all of the latest information isn't enough. And so our primary cause for remaining in the unhealthy state is a perceptual prison that holds us into a self-identity, that locks us into an identity which is called unhealthy. And from that perceptual imprisonment, we limit our capacity for our health. So, many, I'd like you to really think about what might be a perceptual attitude, perception that you hold regarding yourself, regarding health. Many people believe that they can't be healthy unless everything is perfect. True?
Mm.
But that is not going to happen. Even if you're a healer, even if you have access to any medicine known to man, it's not going to happen. This is not a perfect world. And you know what? It was never meant to be. And that's good, because it's not. So, on the other hand, what would be the qualities of true health? I have 3 points for you to consider. Number 1, energy. 2, alertness. And 3, joy. So, beginning with energy, I'm going to first make a distinction between physical and mental energy. And I'm going to go for the real stuff, real health, real higher health. So, energy is the stuff of the universe, isn't that so? Everything is made out of energy. You know, it used to be that this was some high mystical truth that only a very few knew, and you had to have a very secret relationship with someone who had this important knowledge, and you had to keep it a secret. But now your scientists, even your scientists are telling you that everything is made up out of energy. So even you not believe the mystics who have been saying that for thousands of years, that everything is made of energy. At least you can believe your scientists, right? So we know that this table, we know that our body and our mind are all made out of energy. True? We also know that the air and everything that surrounds us is also energy. True? True. And that means that energy exists in different forms. There's a certain flavor of energy which you need to have in order to feel correctly energized. Isn't that so? Otherwise, we could simply touch our own hand and get energy from our own hand, but it doesn't work that way. There's some taste of energy that makes us feel energized. So, although we have energy everywhere, we might not be accessing this energy or enough of this correct energy in our life to make us feel okay. You know, even though what I'm saying makes a lot of logical sense and might even seem like a simplification, but these are things that we don't often think about, and once we do, that we enter into a more logical relationship with the quality of energy and the quality of our inner experiences in order to get a handle on energetic life. So I'm sure at Sacred Path that this is discussed in abundance. I don't know what you're saying there. It might be the same, probably very close. So, not any energy, just any energy will do. Correct. Otherwise, we could just stick our finger in a light socket and get plenty of energy, huh? So we're looking for a certain texture of energy which is suitable for something that appeals to our mind and we feel correctly energized and alive. Energy is present everywhere, but there is something about the answers which you had given earlier about what prevents you from being healthy that has something to do with how you might be accessing this correct energy, this texture of energy and the quantity that is needed. And so that becomes the main issue, is how do we get the correct energy? One answer about what keeps us from being healthy is self-image. Isn't that so? So, although on one level of being, we feel we deserve to be healthy, on another level of our being, we might be punishing ourselves, as I said earlier. So this higher health we are looking for depends on an increase of the correct kind of clean energy. We are presented We are presented with a minimal quality and quantity of energy. True? I'll say that again. We are presented in our everyday life with a minimal quality and quantity of correct energy. And in addition, people have a difficult time holding on to and manipulating the energy which you have, even in this small quantity. So you would think that if you were only given a small amount of energy, that you would use it very carefully and judiciously, so that at the end of the day you would have some energy left over, huh? But this is not the case. That people rush to expend their energy through anger, too much excitement, even depression, like a leaky balloon. And so they don't have enough energy to be able to do what they need to do in daily life. Yes?
First you said the minimal amount of energy, and it sounded like it was given.
Well, because you're alive, my dear.
All right, so somehow we know how to take this minimal energy in.
If you didn't have a minimal amount of energy, you wouldn't even be here.
So this is something that's within you already.
You might be in a coma.
I saw it coming from, the way I heard it was outside in, but you're saying this is just...
A natural
right.
baseline.
Okay, thank you.
So at least we've got that, yes. Dear.
But if we learn how to meditate with empowerments, doesn't that shift that perception that there's a limit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. And so in higher yogic process, there is an actual realignment of energies. The misaligned, distorted energy, and we talked about this yesterday extensively, the misaligned, distorted energies are very difficult to use as sources to make us feel healthy and alive. True? True?
Mm-hmm.
These twisted and confused energies actually make us feel sick. So now we're making a connection between aligned energies and energy. They collect the debris of confusion. It is useless to highly energize your system unless what you have is being held correctly. So it is not a good idea for those of you who are healers, it is better to help someone realign the energy that they have at a minimum level. New healers tend to try to give them the jolt of energy, and this very often will not work. Very often will not work. Is this something that this is as beginning students, intermediate students, it might be boring for you to do exercises and meditations. But gradually, what has been distorted becomes straight and usable. Gradually. After you learn how to hold your energy properly, more energy can be added with various kinds of exercises and meditations. These are the elements of higher tantric practice. Many people beginning meditation want to experience high levels of energy, spiritual experiences, things that are going to blow their socks off or whatever they call. That's what they want. But it actually will do them more harm than good. It has to be done in a safe and skillful manner. You can begin by understanding that there is something about the way you hold your energy that influences whether it is encouraged or not into an aligned form. very important change in thinking. I'd like you to close your eyes, and I'd like you to think about, just sort of just gently look at yourself. See if there's any places that might be uncomfortable or uncomfortable in your mind. And now I'd like you to imagine that the energy of your mind is aligned, straight and supple. Yes. Some of you understand. Good. Go ahead and try it. This is a mental and inner energetic. Some of you have, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Some of you have so poor grasp on your energy bodies that as soon as you thought that, you went and you released a great deal of energy. I don't know whether you thought it was going into the universe, and I'm not looking at anybody in particular, but it was somehow exploded into a very unskillful display of lack of energy. So if you know who you are, and I'm not looking at anybody, then get a grip. Let's get a grip through daily, steady meditation increases your capacity to hold your energy properly, and it belongs within your body. It belongs within your body. If you have to leave your body, if your body is such an uncomplimentary host to your energy that it has to leave in order to be able to feel okay, then this means that you need to improve your body-mind connection, okay? That there are many psychic awareness type trainings where people are expected to go out of their body. This is a fool's easy way to psychic development, okay? That free of the body, that people can feel more comfortable, and this is not the way of higher training. Higher training makes you a person capable of holding your energy properly, and that is the place where the skill of a healer or the skill of a practitioner resides. This other way, very dangerous, okay? And you will inflate and deflate easily, and this is not good, okay? So, distorted, and misaligned energies are very receptive to arise as distorted emotions, such as anger, hatred, and poor self-image. That if you suffer from anger, hatred, or poor self-image, that realize that where it's coming from is the irritated energies, which are distorted, and they very quickly arise as a weird thing. For example, if you took a lovely pot and you put some good vegetables into it, and then you took dirt and you threw it in there with a few rocks, and you put some water and some what they call amphetamine pills in there, and you stirred it all together, what you got?
Mess.
You got a mess, and that is what the energetic system, you may actually be trying to arise in a compassionate and caring manner, but your energy, which is being held improperly, can only support anger. Even you don't want it to be anger, boom, like that. It's like the bowl of distorted soup, that it can't help it. And you need to get a handle on the distorted energies, as well as working on the behavioral side, which is saying I don't want to be angry, I'm not going to be angry, I'm going to use various psychological remedies and change my perceptions, that can go so far, but the actual energies have to be in a more supple and aligned way to make them usable. This is tantric. This is tantric, okay? This requires dedication in the same way that someone might dedicate themselves to what they call that kind of martial arts where they wear the trousers, long trousers.
Karate,
No,
kung fu.
the Japanese.
Aikido.
Aikido is the one I'm thinking of. That the same dedication that one might have toward Aikido and the discipline of training the energies, very much so, but mental energies we're training and not the physical energies, okay? So that is why the tantric practices, such as green light and medicine Buddha and white Tara, all of these are working with your energetic system to help you get them realigned in various ways to the best of your ability. At the higher levels, one becomes like a tantric yogi Aikido, like that. Do anything like that. This is a very good one. So, there are many philosophies, particularly New Age, that would like you to believe that energy is just energy. Doesn't matter whether it's good energy or bad energy, energy is just energy. But this is only true at the highest levels of practice. And that is because the high yogis are able to correct distorted energies spontaneously. Can you do that? Well, then energy is not just energy. For the yogic being, it doesn't matter. However, the yogic beings do not deliberately damage energy, such as ordinary people do to their energy, so that they can turn around and use it. No, that takes a lot more time. But they can be straightened. This is why, because we really understand that energy is not just energy, but we need a certain kind of energy. This is why virtuous states of mind, such as love and compassion, are so important. By nature, they are not distorted. How can we awaken the power of energy for good health? I can only think of two ways. Number one, steady daily meditation with a high quality, suitable meditation, such as green light practice. Number two, motivation to be of benefit to others, because it multiplies the energy source. An individual energy system cannot hold higher health. So our motivation to be of benefit to others actually holds the energy in a multiplied form. And this is another way to think of bodhicitta motivation. It's true. You understand?
Can you repeat that again?
Motivation to be of benefit to others multiplies the energy source. An individual energy system cannot hold higher health. So our motivation to be of benefit to others actually holds the energy in a multiplied form, an exponential form. This is bodhicitta motivation. The second factor of true health is alertness. Alertness is how our mental functions connect to the world. The alertness factors that you have with your mind give you various kinds of orientation to this world we live in. If you don't have orientation, you feel disoriented. True? True. So, you have three kinds of orientation. The first is orientation in space. You need a careful sense of alertness, which is your personal orientation in space. You have a natural ability to project yourself onto others. It is spontaneous. You do this automatically. Your own projected presence out there allows you to understand that that is there. It can only happen if you have sent a portion of your awareness out there, and that is the place from which you are observing. You understand? If, through trauma and taboos, you don't allow yourself to see objects outside yourself, you frighten yourself inside, and this will cause you to feel disoriented. So, higher health depends on a special state of alertness which allows you to be present in space and feel comfortable. This makes you feel okay inside. Not in the egotistical way, but in a healthy way. It makes you feel as though you are in the center of your own world. This is called alertness through orientation. The second form of orientation is orientation in time. Higher health also depends on alertness that gives you this orientation in time. That means your mind is not dragged into the past and is not confused about the future. Nor are you confused with the now. But there is a time which is a higher alertness, which I call the present moment. That is the only time you are alive. If you are not present, you are disoriented in time. Any questions? Anything you want to say? No? The third orientation is in purpose. The grounding and stabilizing force of this orientation allows you to remember that there is something valuable that you are supposed to be doing. This healthy form of orientation does not make you nervous. It's not like the kind, oh, I have to take care of this, or I have to study and study hard to become a doctor. I have to do this, I have to be successful. Not like that. Does not include the drive to be the best or the greatest or the most successful or make the most money. Not like that. This orientation of purpose makes you feel stable, grounded, and it makes you feel trustworthy to yourself. You are remembering, not in so many words, but you are remembering energetically who you are and what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You don't feel pulled or pushed. This is not an easy part of health to remember. And yet, when you are there, you feel extraordinarily healthy. True?
Absolutely.
Good. So, how do we awaken the power of alertness for higher health? Number 1, reducing fear, which is the lower form of anger. It is directly associated with anger. It is a cousin of anger. Number 2, increase your capacity of memory. This will strengthen and encourage your mind to be more present. You know, in this modern world, so many devices to use. Even people carry their cell phone as an alarm clock, going off every few minutes for one reason or another. Even not have the strength, most people don't have the strength of memory to go to the grocery store without a list. Huh? This is not good. Or you know that when you get to the grocery store that you can call so-and-so, like some kind of game show. I saw this game show called Cash Cab. And if they don't know what they're doing, they can make a quick phone call to ask them the answer so they can win $50. And so everywhere you go, you got your darn cell phone there, so you don't actually have to remember anything anymore. And so in our Tibetan system, the power of memorization, such as your sadhanas, will help strengthen that power of alertness. Until you do, that the very flaccid capacity for memory. Try going to the store without your list. Actually, I have a system. When I go out, I don't exactly remember what my list is, but I mentally know that I have 4 things to do. And then when I go to the first place, I say, I have now 3 things to do. And I tick them off that way, and I force my memory to remember what it is, and I just only have to remember how many places I need to stop. When it gets like more than 7, then it's a little more difficult. And I have to sometimes drive around town thinking what it is I'm supposed to be doing. But in general, we should take pleasure. We should take pleasure in increasing our capacity for memory. You know, even if people think that you're some kind of a smarty because you can recite all of the states or whatever it is, even from your school days. You might hold some of those memories, but you've got to exercise it. You've got to exercise it more carefully, and you have to develop that. People assume because the devices are there to help us with memory devices that we don't want to become, the human race should not become so mentally weak. Huh? And we are becoming mentally weak. I forget what I'm going to say next, but good thing I have it written down. So this will try and remember your list. This will make the mind more quick. It will make you feel confident, and it will make you feel alert, but not nervous alert, which is how many people go way past correct alert to a state where they become hyper alert, and if a dog barks, they jump and too jumpy and scared. Don't go hyper alert. There's a correct balance for this kind of alertness, okay?
If you recite sutra, would that help?
Oh, very good. You memorize sutra, I'd be very happy. I'd be very happy. Memorize, I was going to say, we memorize scriptures. In our Tibetan system, we memorize scriptures. So the third point is joy. Higher health as joy. Yes.
Before you go to joy, you
Yes.
talked about reducing fears,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't say how to reduce fears.
Depends upon the person. The hint I'm giving is that because fear is associated with anger, that many people who experience a lot of anger, actually it's because they are experiencing fear. And so if we go to the bad boy, which is anger, then we might be able to untangle our fear, which has been making us afraid inside because we are really angry, and all we can exhibit from that, all we permit ourselves to exhibit from that is fear. So making this connection allows us to get rid of the whole family, fear, anger, etc. Most people who live in fear feel victimized. Isn't that so? That there's something that they are afraid of, something that they must avoid. Actually, you are a danger because you are an anger being inside. There is no one who, unless we have a manifest situation where someone's life is in danger, you're in a war situation, you're in a terrible situation where someone's pointing a gun at you or going to hurt you, this is quite normal to experience fear without having the anger associated with. But most people who experience fear and suffer from fear are really anger inside. And conversely, most people who experience anger are feeling fear inside. And I believe that those of you who are in the psychological areas or working with people in healing understand this very well. Yes, that people with anger want to be strong and don't want to know that they are actually afraid inside. People who are exhibiting fear don't want to know that they are really angry inside. So we have the hidden partner and the manifest partner, and we have to get rid of both of them.
How?
Depends upon the person. It depends upon the person. Right now, in this situation, the only thing I'm asking you to do is to remember that fear and anger go together. So if you experience fear, then think about the potential you have for anger. Maybe you'll surprise yourself and it will reveal, and then you can deal with it then, okay? If it's too difficult, then you must see professional help, a therapist, or someone you trust who can help you through this. Because sometimes it wouldn't be hidden, its partner wouldn't be hidden if you could tolerate seeing it. So I'm asking you to do this gently and skillfully. But only right now, thinking, oh, this is a possibility, there's some connection there. Only this much so far. Who else had their hand up? Yes?
Well, I understand that to make it, I can get to the place of understanding when under anger is fear. But fear to me is moving away, anger is moving forward. So if you're displaying fear, which is a natural moving away, but you're actually having anger, it feels like fear.
Anger doesn't have to be. Anger does not have to be expressed in order to be there. Anger could be the low voltage boiler going on all the time. Especially ladies. Okay, I'll say it. In general, ladies have fear with anger, lots of anger underneath. In general, fellows have anger with the fear underneath. Neither, and I'm sorry if I'm making generalizations, and there certainly could be the opposite true. And of course, not everyone experiences fear, anger problems. But it's going to be difficult to be alert enough to be alive in your own life when a great deal of your own awareness needs to be involved in the dynamics regarding fear and anger. That you always have to be, the mistrust and lack of closeness, difficulties with all kinds of relationships, not able to finish what you start, becoming aggressive, inappropriately aggressive, and then being sorry and not understanding. Oh, so many difficulties arise from this terrible combination of fear and anger, huh? And not to mention things like impatience and irritation and all the nice names like that. Having a bad day like that. We don't want to say we're angry, we're just having a bad day. A bad mental health air day, right? And so, let's go on to joy, which is more interesting. Now forget, for those of you who are taking notes, these are important things. Joy is the result of the confluence of three rivers: confidence, strength of purpose, and love. The confidence of joy is reliance upon the steadiness of the flow of joy. I say that again. The confidence of joy is reliance upon the steadiness of the flow of joy. Up to this point, you have probably been satisfied with moments of joy. True? You try to increase the moments of joy so that you actually feel happy all the time. True? This actually won't work. This won't work. There is a flow of joy which you need to access that is different from the moments of joy or the accumulation of moments of joy. The confidence of joy means that it is there all of the time, and it is a flow, and you are never separated from it. Our discussion here, of course, is not about happiness today. We're not talking about happiness. We're talking about higher health. If you cannot access with confidence the flow of joy, you cannot feel healthy. Then higher health is impossible. This confidence of joy is like being on the path of Dharma. Rejoicing that we are doing the right thing, and we are doing it for the right reason. This causes you to experience joy. Any questions about the confidence of joy? Yes, dear.
I don't know if you said how exactly to get on the stream of joy and not just
I think it's coming along here at the end. We're going to discuss it, and then we're going to give some hints, okay? Let's talk about the strength of purpose of joy. This opens the inner heart to deeper values. We arise we exhibit this without any obstacles arising from our ordinary mind. This is the actual power of the great beings called Mahasiddhas. These Mahasiddhas had no sense of propriety or daintiness. They don't care anything about the ordinary mind. Their strength of purpose, of joy, arises bypassing ordinary mind. These include great beings such as Rumi, Padmasambhava, John the Baptist, Tilopa. These are some examples of those who possessed powerful great joy. Love, the last point, love, is a filling of personal body, speech, and mind with effervescent wisdom that heals everything. Love is a filling of personal body, speech, and mind with effervescent wisdom that heals everything. It is the unreasonable joy that connects us to higher health. So, how can we awaken the power of joy for higher health? Number one, as you probably guessed, steady daily meditation. Reduces rigid thinking and increases our reliance on inner, wholesome, higher being. We no longer accept the smaller, insignificant, and cheap forms of love. They are cheap, but they're no bargain. True? You want something more. Number two, how to awaken the power of joy. Be as good as your word. Finish what you start. I know there might not seem that there's a relationship, but there truly is. When you accomplish and able to start what you promised you would do, start and finish what you promised, what you would do, and then you rejoice in the new qualities that you are developing. This is the way to strengthen the power of joy. Rejoicing in your own capacity. You feel good. This is called joy. That means if you promise to do the training, exercises that are given to you by your teacher, or you promise that you will meditate 5 minutes a day or whatever it is, then do it. Start small and accomplish it. Then you pat yourself on the back. And when you congratulate yourself, it's not the hollow congratulations. Acknowledge carefully, yes, I did well. Like that. This lifts and makes you capable of joy. Build a portfolio of successes to overcome any portfolio of failures which you may be presently holding. Learn how to rejoice skillfully. Rejoice. Also rejoice and encourage each other. You know, some people might meditate for 3 hours a day. This rejoicing with others means it's difficult to judge what others are doing well or not well. There's no way for us to really tell. Some people might be meditating 3 hours a day, and they're very lazy. They haven't achieved 1/10 of their potential. For another person, it may be very hard for them to meditate for 20 minutes. And yet they're doing outstandingly well. So we think community, brothers and sisters, practicing in the practice like that, fellow Buddhists, encourage each other strongly. Don't worry about whether you think that they're so fantastic meditator or not. Just keep encouraging each other. Huh? In this way, communities become strong because you know that you can rely on each other for encouragement. This is very important. Communities where they criticize and judge each other, these are not communities. These are like suffering, throwing people together to suffer together. This is no good. Begin, even you are in a community which is very critical of each other. You begin yourself. So you look very nice today. Oh my goodness, you've got a sparkle in your eye. You look so happy, etc. What harm? Only good comes of it. Strengthen your communities. Whether that's family, groups of friends. Don't be the cynical one. Be the one that turns it around. Others will start too. They go, whoa, that person's so weird. They're just going around like a happy person. And then they might try it themselves. You never know. Community, good communities, they're all happy, crazy together. Even there's something you don't like about them, find something nice. Learn how to rejoice, not just in your own qualities, but in the qualities of others. Even who don't know their qualities, you go ahead and assume they have wonderful qualities. Why? Because they're your friend. They were smart enough to be your friend. They're smart enough to compliment them on their quality. Huh? When you rejoice, you are rejoicing in your new capacity. And in that way, if you are working on increasing joy for your health, you do not have the right to be hard on yourself. You don't have the right. The opposite of being this joyful, happy person is much more important than your small desires to harm yourself or to be hard on yourself, okay? And the third method to arouse joy for your health is forgive and forget. Maybe you want to write that big. Forgive and forget. The forward aspect of joy is leaving all this illusory nonsense behind. True? Just forgive anyone who has caused you problems. You're going forward. Don't hold on to it like yesterday's sandwich. Forget about it. Really forget about it. Not just socially or, I suppose I should forget about it. No, really forget about it. If you have someone remind you about something bad that had happened in your past, and you can barely remember it, it is as though it never happened. True? With a great deal of effort, you might go, oh, yeah, that's right, but I can't do, it's gone. I just feel it's gone. Let's put more things there. Huh? Don't hold on to it. Your joy is more important than hanging on to that. This capacity for being able to barely remember this is a sign of higher health. In a way, you are capable of inviting love into that very space. True? True. Kick out blame and shame. Invite love into that exact location, which is at the very center of your being. Not up here. Here, in the very center of your being, inside. You invite love. These are the precursors of enlightened higher health. You actually don't have a choice, you know. You're not going to be able to move on until you resolve the issues that are holding you into poor health. So if you think, oh, that'd be awfully hard to forgive and forget, you actually don't have a choice. You've got to. You've been stuck in this evolutionary niche hole or ditch hole for far longer than it should have been. So don't be stubborn about this, okay? Forgive and forget. So, any questions? Or anything you'd like to say? Yes, dear.
Well, it's just a beautiful formula, and I thank you.